This song, we're gonna vibe on this later on. That's a vibe. It is absolutely a vibe. Yeah, Renegade. Let's check this.
Seeing how stunningly Star Wars it felt was electric.
I just jumped into that walker and I just annihilated the encounter.
They're really pushing the Star Wars fans into the game
feeling
now,
that
aren't
blaster
they,
just go off. It was like a whole new world opened up for me.
The sounds, that's the one thing that
really
Destiny does well, is the effects and the sounds and building the universe that know how to do
that hiss, that sound.
Wow, that's cool. That's very
it's
cool.
like that. Okay.
But of course, they are, that's typical Bungie, you know, they know how to reel in the hype. They know how to hype things very high. So they're showing all the best of the best right now.
Prophecy that says our end is
But will it be stable? That's the question here. Will it be stable?
Or we start the long journey.
Or we're gonna have a buggy ass experience again.
In Renegades, Guardians infiltrate a criminal underworld to save a friend whose past has caught up with him and disrupt the rise of powerful new enemies.
I think it's Gambit.
In special collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, we took inspiration from Star Wars to craft a one-of-a-kind Destiny story.
Wow, that's awesome. Bro, the hunters are absolutely awesome in this ability move. I'm a tight main, but I am very always in awe see a hunter doing stuff like that.
Just about power.
I'm always
it's about
in
what
awe.
you're willing to risk to change the future.
Gambit really become very prominent in
The folks at
storytelling.
Lucasfilm were such great collaborators. They understood that in order for this to work, we had to find where the Venn diagram of our two stories meet. Themes of underdogs rising up against something much larger than themselves. Themes of hope. Those little places in that Venn diagram were the ones that really helped us find the story that we want to tell together.
Yeah, but it is a Destiny story, it's a Star Wars story.
You can kind of see that parallel that exists. So for instance, our Dredgen,
they look like Tatooine now.
Yeah, and then you've got the Barrett Imperium.
Ooh, look at that, the new Stormtroopers.
Empire-like. Yes. They have a huge appetite for expansion.
That is cool, that's a cool design.
I think of the Praxic Order.
It's funny how new enemies to fight. That's the positive
very
thing.
Focused on order and law and understanding that there is a binary in our universe of good and evil. We get to poke at that a little bit in a way that suits our story and our world while still feeling very much like the inspiration that we're calling from. Edge of Fate leaves us with a really big pass forward into the future. We know of this prophecy now that tells us that we need to bind the Nine or we face extinction. And Drifter was there on Kepler. He saw all of this.
The Edge of Fate, I understand the beginning of the story itself, but I did not like the DLC itself. I absolutely hate the Spark Girl thing. The Spark Matter, I hate that thing. I hate that thing with a passion.
He sees them rising at an
the story I can deal with was the beginning. I can deal with all of that. Okay, there's the beginning. I can deal with that. But the entire Spark Matter bullshit, nah, that was nah. Fuck
cool
that.
thing about this
I hate
criminal
it.
underworld is you and
so for me, the DLC was a 6 out of 10. It was mediocre. It was little mediocre. And I think even 6 out of 10, I'm being very generous. I'm being very generous.
Crooked criminal syndicates
but it is very
in between,
cool, man.
Earning your power, building up the notoriety, getting the gear that you need to take down that powerful Imperium at the top.
There's a weapon that the Barrett Imperium have made, and we need to be the ones to destroy it. And we're not going to be able to do that unless we work with exactly the kind of people that we normally fight. So we're going to head out to the lawless frontier, and one job at a time, we're going to take down the Imperium.
They made their own version of the Death Star now as well. That is the weapon you're talking about. If you're a Star Wars fan like myself, that is the Death Star.
It's filled with big, chaotic, cooperative activities.
Look at that.
The job. You're
Hunters to the kill.
Renegade abilities. You're going to take into those jobs, and then you're going to drop into the action with your team.
Go on, show us the Titans, man. The disrespectful
to us as you can, and then get out or die trying.
To do that, you're going to go to the Lost Frontier Hollow map. You'll see Mars, Europa, and Venus with swamps that are very reminiscent of Dagobah. There's some hints of Hoth in Europa, right?
Yeah.
For fans of both Star Wars and Destiny, like Mars, which is some pits that are very reminiscent of Sarlacc pits, and you don't want to fall into them, you'll die.
These are Destiny locations. It's just we're taking inspiration from some of these iconic places in Star Wars.
There's a good fusion
Let's say
between
we
both worlds.
go to Mars, and you're gonna.
So it's still very much a
Destiny
story
for the Fallen to take out some Cabal.
So far, we know.
You either matchmake with people online, you take your crew with you. You can play solo. Every time you drop in, you might be in a different location on the map. Your objectives are gonna be a little different each time, and it also might be a different time of day. So there's a lot of variety and richness within these activities, as we want them to be highly replayable. Along the way, we're gonna throw a bunch of curveballs. You might run into a missile tower that's trying to take you out from halfway across the map. And you have to like divert and take it out, and you get some extra credits out of that. Defeat your boss, get to the exfil with whatever time you've got left. Call your ship in. All hell drops in on your head from the Cabal. Your ship flies in. You hop aboard, and you've got to exfil.
Over the course of the campaign and deep into the post-game of Reneggades, you're going to be unlocking and earning a bunch of different Renegade abilities.
We've got things like airstrikes, Cabal drop pods, vehicles like the Cabal walker,
airstrikes. They copied that from the other game. I forgot that game's name again.
Turrets. We've got 9 abilities, 7 upgrades. There's a ton of stuff that you can bring in and just change how things play.
It's like a tech tree of options.
It's like a whole tree of options across support, defensive, and offensive abilities. So the player's going to have a lot to play with here.
The Lawless Frontier is
they are cooking. They are definitely cooking, but they are showing all the best of the best. You know, you gotta take this with a grain of salt if it comes to Bungie, man. You got to
at different times, and all of this takes place.
But the vision that they have is really cool. I like really that. This hub zone here, that is awesome if you're role playing as a hunter, man. That is just simply awesome. With all these syndicates, this kind of stuff. Look at this.
It's now.
I mean, you know, it's awesome. It's really awesome. For this role playing hunter, man, that is actually cool. You can play like a bounty hunter. Are we tight? We can play like a Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is cool. That is absolutely cool. That is really cool. That is a fantasy coming to life.
Star Wars and for us.
But you gotta take with a grain of salt because Bungie is
play in that playground in a really fun way.
Destiny is not going. It's not in a good space, mate.
With all 4 of his Elixir arms shaking up during.
There's a lot of bugs in this game. So let's see.
We found the Destiny spin on it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Moved in.
You're working with the syndicates. You are building your notoriety with them.
The 3 different syndicates that we created,
so we got fractures now as
we're
well.
going to be dealing with. The Pikers are Elixir. They're kind of like an anarchist biker gang. Unlike other Elixir, they're atheists. They don't worship machines. They follow relics. We've also got the Totality Division, a subset of the Barrent Imperium. They're run by Scions, and their enforcer Rao is going to be the leader of this group. And we've got Tharsis Reformation. They are a breakaway group from Maya's Vex. They're starting to think for themselves and figure out what it means to be an individual.
They're starting to do crime. They're wearing clothes.
Crime and wearing clothes are what all individuals do.
AI coming back to life.
To fight and new people to root for.
Elon Musk
this is our opportunity.
Biggest fear.
But the heart of the Renegade fantasy is not just surviving the Lawless Frontier. It's garnering influence and building your power so that you can bend it to your will.
In the end game, you get the best weapons, the best armor, the coolest exclusive cosmetics. You're going to need to work with the syndicates to increase your notoriety by completing jobs successfully alone or with a crew, and then doing so you'll unlock our highest risk, highest reward jobs, and at the same time you're going to have the ability to do the special job that'll take you off planet to the dungeon. And you'll also unlock Invasion.
That's right, Invasion is back. But this doesn't work like Gambit. It's opt-in. The invader has some initiative when invasion begins.
They're reworking
this is more strategic.
They saw it from Destiny
Rising. You scan the battlefield, and you're like, okay, is this the right time for me to take the shot? And what's the right tool for me to do it? Do I use an airstrike or a vehicle? Do I use a Cabal walker?
Just watch out for that double cross.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Yeah.
Renegades marks the Guardian's descent into a criminal underworld. A world of shadows and syndicates, where your light and your choices will cut a path forward. You'll fight dirty, break the rules, and build a hardened crew that can take on any job, standing up to the most ruthless syndicates in the system.
I like this coin thing they keep tossing at. Let's go, Titans! Let's go! Finally! I was starting to get disrespected here, man. It looks cool. The hype is real. It looks cool.
There's still a glimmer.
But I'm thinking with a grain of salt, man. I'm a Destiny player for a very long time.
Loyalty and survival, between power.
They are very good in glazing and overhyping
the
franchise. They did the same thing with the Age of Fate, and that DLC was beyond mediocre. It was even worse than Lightfall. So I'm taking it as a grain of salt. But as a Star Wars fan, as a massive Star Wars fan, I'm quite hyped about this. I'm genuinely really hyped about this. Oh, look at that Sentinel! Ooh, a Sith Lord.
Take off as soon as you can.
Wow, that's awesome. That is this. I know what I mean. They know how to hype. They know how to hype things. It's really cool. That is very, very cool.